to look like a member of the Brown staff has quit the damn team. Now, guys, I'm here to tell you, this is not a good look. And you want to know what this tell me? The boat is sinking and people ain't going down with the Titanic. The Cleveland Browns is in disarray. When you start seeing members of the staff quitting, leaving, mind you guys, the season is still going on. Oh my goodness, this is looking very, very...
The Cleveland Browns organization is spiraling into chaos as staff members abandon ship mid-season. This isn't just poor optics, it's a distress signal. When people refuse to go down with the Titanic, you know the vessel is already taken on water. The franchise sits in complete disarray, with personnel fleeing while games remain on the schedule. This catastrophic situation paints a grim picture of an organization in absolute freefall. The Browns have detonated once again. Jimmy Haslam is hemorrhaging control, watching his football empire disintegrate in agonizing slow motion. The locker room crackles with tension as tempers reach their breaking point. Yet amidst this organizational inferno, one name dominates every whispered conversation: Shadur Sanders. The college sensation has somehow become the focal point of Cleveland's latest crisis, eclipsing both the coaching staff and front office drama. Something monumental is brewing beneath the surface, and this time it transcends Haslam's notorious temper. Secret meetings, heated phone exchanges, and Sanders' potentially game-changing decision could completely rewrite the Browns' narrative. The entire city buzzes with speculation while insiders scramble nervously, and the mounting pressure reverberates so intensely you can practically feel the foundation cracking at team headquarters.
Quitting, leaving, mind you guys, the season is still going on. Oh my goodness, this is looking very, very spooky. And not only this guy that left the whole NFL league. He left to go to baseball. And my goodness, guys, we got to dive into this one right now, man. I hope everybody's having a great night tonight. I know it is late.
The Browns have triggered their self-destruction sequence yet again. After decades of organizational dysfunction, you'd assume they'd exhausted every possible method of public embarrassment. Yet somehow, this franchise continues engineering innovative ways to immolate itself. Haslam operates like a caffeinated CEO on overdrive, terminating employees as casually as discarding worn furniture. The departures mount up, mid-season, mind you, creating an increasingly ominous atmosphere. What makes this particular exodus extraordinary is the destination: baseball. When an NFL executive abandons football entirely for America's pastime, that signals something beyond a career pivot. When staff members quit mid-season, we've transcended problematic territory and entered apocalyptic waters. You don't evacuate during the storm unless you've already spotted the iceberg tearing through the hull. Yet Cleveland persists in marketing this catastrophe as part of some grand rebuilding strategy. The ship hasn't just sunk, it's resting on the ocean floor while management celebrates the bubbles as progress indicators. This represents pure Cleveland insanity. The chaos escalates to unprecedented levels as the Browns' chief strategy officer packages his spreadsheets, coffee mug, and remaining sanity before making a beeline for baseball. You must be thoroughly exhausted with football to trade game plans for batting averages. This isn't a career transition, it's a full-scale escape operation with witness protection written all over it.
But we got to get into the action. And the action of the matter is, before we listen to all this audio, is the Colorado Rockies are in deep conversation with Paul. What this mean, y'all? This mean Kevin and Andrew future ain't looking good. Nah, I don't think it's looking good, y'all. I think Kevin and Andrew future is looking very, very bad.
The implications for Kevin and Andrew's future look increasingly dire. Reports indicate the Colorado Rockies are pursuing Browns analytics mastermind Paul DePodesta, and everyone's pretending this represents normal business operations. You don't abandon an NFL franchise mid-season unless the warning signs are flashing in neon red. This man didn't pursue another opportunity. He executed an escape like an operative who spotted the countdown timer and knew detonation was imminent. The moment this story broke, panic rippled through the Browns facility like a triggered alarm system. Kevin Stefanski probably stares into the void like a student whose group project leader vanished hours before the final presentation. Andrew Barry likely doom scrolls job listings at 2 in the morning, searching desperately for any position that doesn't feature Jimmy Haslam's name prominently displayed. You can practically visualize Haslam pacing before his mirror, posture rigid, muttering like some football-obsessed monarch. "We're fixing this team, even if I must terminate every breathing person in this building." This isn't management, it's a meltdown wearing expensive tailoring. At this juncture, Jimmy Haslam might actually execute this threat. Coaches, analysts, interns, probably even the unfortunate individual who mixes the Gatorade. Nobody escapes when the boss wields his broom like a medieval weapon. When ownership launches a cleaning campaign, you don't request explanations. You silently update your resume and pray your access card still functions come morning.
Y'all heard him right. He's seen the writing on the wall because he's potentially finna get fired. Word on the street is that they finna clean house. Jimmy Haslam is about to clean house, bro. Listen.
In the Ken Rosenthal report, he correctly attributes the idea that no one from the Browns media has been able to speak to DePodesta since March of 2022.
Yep.
I mean,
Kevin Stefanski grips his position like a greased football in a thunderstorm. You can observe it in every physical tell. Forced smiles, manufactured calm, that haunted expression worn by someone who knows the countdown has already commenced. He coaches with the energy of someone whose lease expires next week and whose landlord has stopped returning messages. You recognize that sensation when your supervisor ghosts your emails but suddenly materializes at your workspace for random check-ins. That's Stefanski's current reality, existing on borrowed time. The irony cuts deep. Amid all this chaos, the name echoing through headquarters corridors isn't Haslam or Barry. It's Shadur Sanders. The young quarterback hovers everywhere, like the specter of Cleveland's football destiny haunting every conversation. People can't stop discussing him, speculating whether he's the missing catalyst, the headline waiting to materialize, the miracle that might rescue the city from its perpetual heartbreak. Fans fantasize about him in orange and brown, launching touchdowns, shattering curses, and perhaps, just perhaps, providing something worth believing in again. This is Cleveland. You know precisely how this narrative unfolds. They'll probably draft him, bench him, then somehow blame him for climate change. Meanwhile, Haslam paces around like Marie Kondo on a power trip, asking, "Does this coach spark joy? No. Terminate him. Does this GM inspire optimism? Gone. Does the quarterback make me feel centered and calm?" The man's transforming the Browns into a self-help catastrophe. Haslam's solution to every problem remains identical: import someone else. The Browns are trapped in an endless reboot cycle where every update crashes halfway through installation. It resembles attempting to repair a broken system using the same defective components repeatedly.
Could possibly be the answer for the Cleveland Browns franchise. Shadur Sanders is a 5th round draft pick that haven't hit the field yet, but if somebody in that building knows Shadur is that dude. I know Kevin Stefanski want to showcase Dillon Gabriel, but it haven't worked out yet. A Brown insider right now gonna tell you about Dillon Gabriel.
Let's discuss Paul DePodesta, Cleveland's most enigmatic executive. This man has collected paychecks from that front office for nearly a decade. Yet, ask fans about him and they'll describe him as essentially a phantom. Nobody's encountered him. Nobody's heard from him. He's the Loch Ness Monster of Berea. Every few years, someone claims a sighting, but evidence never materializes. Then suddenly, he's departed for the Rockies, like he's entering witness protection for failed football strategists. The individual didn't just resign, he escaped. The man examined the Browns' playbook, noticed the word future scratched out with permanent marker, and declared, "I'm gone here."
Find out today that Shadur Sanders will be the backup. He will be active on Saturday. On Sunday. How you feeling? Feeling good?
I feel fine. So Ken's take was that he'd be inactive, or he was fine with him being inactive?
I think he wanted him to be inactive.
He wanted him to be inactive. Why?
Now we're doing what the morning show does. I think this is what they said.
All the videos suggest that he looks good. The team is telling you now that he is fine and cleared. He should be active.
I still just don't believe that.
Now, personally, I don't really care one way or another if he's active or inactive, because I don't want his first start to be, or his first debut coming after a halftime.
Meanwhile, Haslam probably paces through the facility like a storm in designer suits, muttering about culture and leadership while half the staff secretly email recruiters beneath their desks. This place no longer functions as a football organization. It's a high-speed evacuation plan in progress. Haslam's energy radiates pure chaos, like a father finally examining the Wi-Fi bill and discovering his children have been secretly purchasing NFTs for months. The man teeters on the edge, ready to demolish everything and restart from scratch. But here's reality. In Cleveland, that's not panic, that's tradition. Every few years, they slam the reset button, terminate half the building, and inform fans with completely straight faces, this time it's different. Spoiler alert, it's never different. The Browns resemble that friend who swears they've transformed their life every New Year's Eve, then 2 months later they're repeating identical nonsense, just with enhanced confidence and a louder soundtrack. The Browns perpetuate dysfunction like a lifestyle choice. Then there are the fans, unfortunate souls still clutching hope like oxygen. Every offseason transforms into group therapy, new schemes, new systems, new players, and those same worn speeches about transformation. For several weeks, it sounds refreshing, even exciting, until week 3 arrives and everyone's back screaming at their televisions, questioning why identical mistakes keep replaying like a terrible rerun. With this front office circus spinning out of control, fans aren't even angry anymore. They're numb. They're bracing for impact like people who already know the ending but still purchase popcorn anyway. Somewhere out there, Shadur Sanders probably watches all this chaos thinking, maybe I'll remain at Colorado a bit longer. From a distance, Cleveland might resemble opportunity, but up close, it's like volunteering to repair a roller coaster while it's operating at full speed. Haslam's energy radiates pure chaos, like a father finally examining the Wi-Fi bill and discovering his children have been secretly purchasing NFTs for months. Haslam's rage isn't merely about one executive's departure. This represents years of bottled frustration exploding through the seams. The man's invested millions in coaches, schemes, and vision plans, yet the Browns continue stumbling over their own shoelaces. Now he's reached his limit. He's about to execute what billionaires do best, make impulsive, emotional decisions and package them as restructuring. You can already sense it. This offseason promises absolute chaos. The Browns are preparing for another round of press conferences saturated with buzzwords like new direction, accountability, and organizational culture until your eyes roll into next season. It's all polished smiles and manufactured optimism for the cameras, while behind the scenes, Jimmy Haslam probably paces like someone watching his billion-dollar investment transform into a reality show minus the script, but with maximum drama. Honestly, can you entirely blame him? At this point, watching the Browns attempt self-management resembles watching a toddler juggle fireworks. You don't know whether to laugh, cry, or simply seek cover. The chaos isn't organized, it's contagious. Here's the revelation. Staffers aren't even awaiting termination notices anymore. They're quitting before the axe can swing. That's how toxic conditions have become inside Berea. When your top strategist chooses the Colorado Rockies over you, that's not career advancement, that's a desperate plea for peace of mind. That's declaring, I'd rather dedicate my life managing a baseball team that's been rebuilding since the Bush administration than survive one additional Monday meeting with Jimmy Haslam. Everyone knows what follows next. Haslam's version of spring cleaning never stops at one person. It's always an avalanche. First the analytics executive, then the coach, then the GM, perhaps even the unfortunate mascot if he blinks incorrectly. Once Haslam develops that restructure urge, nobody's safe. The Browns aren't rebuilding, they're rebooting on repeat. This season's chaos is just beginning. Even the janitors probably sweat right now, wondering if sweeping the wrong corridor could trigger their termination next.
The tension in that building could be sliced with a helmet visor. Kevin Stefanski, bless him, appears aware the countdown has already begun. He coaches with the same enthusiasm as someone who's already mentally relocated to Oregon. Every play call feels like a farewell letter. Every quarterback rotation resembles someone flipping channels mid-game just to kill time before the finale. You can practically read his thoughts. You want to fire me? Fine, but I'm not going down alone. That's the energy. Quiet rebellion with a smirk. Right behind everything, there's the never-ending subplot that refuses to die. Shadur Sanders. The internet can't stop repeating his name. Every time the Browns implode, someone drags Shedeur into the conversation like he's some chosen one. Maybe he's the future. Maybe he's the spark. Or maybe Cleveland's just desperate enough to believe in any lifeline that looks impressive in a highlight reel. Still, you must admit it's somewhat poetic. The Browns are crumbling internally, yet everyone's fantasizing about a Sanders-style rescue arc. Because when your team appears to be sinking straight to the ocean floor, the fantasy of a lifeboat with a Heisman smile feels like salvation. Fans aren't hoping anymore, they're manifesting. But don't misunderstand, this isn't just another difficult week. This feels like the beginning of something massive, like the calm before another franchise-level explosion. The Browns are clearly preparing for another new era. Reset leadership, reset direction, same heartbreak waiting at the finish line. Haslam isn't even concealing his rage anymore. Word around Cleveland indicates he's officially finished with excuses and next year speeches. The man's about to explode, and when he does, nobody's safe, not even Berea's walls. Haslam's exhausted watching the Ravens celebrate while his team keeps trending for every wrong reason imaginable. Now, the man's gone nuclear. No more patience, no more polite boardroom smiles. The atmosphere inside that building must be electrically charged with fear, like everyone's wearing invisible, about-to-be-fired labels. The Browns have officially entered their favorite cycle stage: hype, hope, heartbreak, house cleaning, then rinse and repeat. Honestly, you almost must respect it. No other franchise can self-destruct with this much consistency. It's practically an art form. Other teams rebuild. Cleveland reincarnates. Every few years, they rise from the ashes with new faces, new slogans, new era of change promises, only to crash directly back into the same chaos they swore they'd escaped. It's déjà vu and shoulder pads. Here we are again, executives fleeing for exits, coaches sweating through press conferences, and Haslam pacing like a volcano in designer shoes. Meanwhile, floating above all the madness like a legend whispered in locker rooms, Shadur Sanders. His name's everywhere again, hovering like a mythical solution to Cleveland's eternal curse. Somewhere out there, a die-hard Browns fan clutches an old jersey whispering, "Maybe this time," because that's what Cleveland does best. Hope powered by caffeine, heartbreak, and pure, stubborn faith. At this point, the Browns don't even need a new playbook. They need an exorcist. Forget analytics. Something must cleanse whatever curse keeps looping this same tragic movie. Still, you must give Jimmy Haslam credit. The man's nothing if not passionate when the walls start shaking. He doesn't sit back or play calm CEO. He erupts, full meltdown mode in a custom suit. He's exhausted with mediocrity, tired of financing losing seasons, tired of watching a billion-dollar franchise operate like a group project gone completely rogue. So yes, Haslam's officially on his rampage. The man's cleaning house like he's attempting to erase history itself. Everyone's tense, whispers fly through the halls. Deep down, the entire organization knows what's approaching. More firings, more resignations, more late-night mutual decisions wrapped in PR spin. Just wait, give it a few weeks, and Shadur Sanders' name will resurface again. Because in Cleveland, hope always needs a face to wear. That's what this city does best: crash spectacularly, rebuild dramatically, and believe again with reckless optimism. It's beautiful, tragic, and totally Cleveland. You can almost hear the city exhale that same exhausted line. Maybe next season, like a prayer that never quite gets answered. Make no mistake, this isn't a chaos ending, it's just intermission. The Browns saga feels like one of those reality shows you can't stop watching, even though it wounds your soul. Haslam's raging like a storm in a boardroom. Stefanski coaches like someone who's already packed his boxes. And somewhere in Berea, Shadur Sanders probably watches the madness unfold with that knowing smirk that says, "This is exactly why I stayed in college first." Meanwhile, poor Andrew Barry refreshes job boards like he's waiting for a Fortnite loot drop. He knows the clock's ticking, and soon the Browns front office will resemble a revolving door spinning through a hurricane. It's chaos. Pure, expensive chaos. The funniest part? Jimmy Haslam still thinks he's being subtle about it. But subtlety and Haslam have never met in the same sentence. He's ready to terminate anyone who so much as glances at a clipboard incorrectly. Nobody's safe, not even the poor water boy. The man's on a rampage, and it's showing. The optics are wild. Fancy resignations and panic. The media spins wild theories. And Haslam's channeling pure billionaire fury, polishing his anger like a trophy diamond. Cleveland doesn't do slow burns. It goes straight to full-blown ignition every single time. Right in the middle of this inferno, the same name keeps echoing through every hallway. Shadur Sanders. Everyone's whispering about him like he's some secret switch that could magically flip the Browns from dumpster fire to playoff contender overnight. But here's the truth. It's not happening overnight. Still, this is Cleveland, where hope sells tickets and chaos sells headlines. You can picture the locker room right now. Coaches whispering nervously, players keeping their heads down, and Haslam pacing like someone who just realized the whole season was a group project he didn't even get credit for. Stefanski's probably throwing play sheets down the tunnel just to feel something again. And somewhere out there, Shadur is watching it all unfold quietly, preparing to either save the franchise or use it as future material for his own redemption arc. The Browns are officially in full-blown chaos mode. Staff fleeing, the owner exploding, and Shadur Sanders hovering in the background like the unexpected plot twist in a horror comedy that somehow feels too real. The only sure thing? Cleveland's mess is about to get even messier, and we're all watching it happen in real time.